morning, mamas. I am so excited to see you all here on our homeschool journey. I have been getting a lot of questions about homeschooling and getting started for the first time. There are so many people just like you that are getting started homeschooling for the first time, and there are a lot of anxieties. I know I went through them, and to be honest with you, I still go through them because when you're taking on your kids' education, there's so many doubts that can come in. There's so many, what should I be doing? Am I doing the right thing? Should I be doing this? And that kind of can feed into a lot of negative thinking, and that is not what we want with this experience. That is not what we want with this experience. So I'm gonna give you guys 5 things I wish I knew before homeschooling. Let's dive right on in after you subscribe. Do that. Okay. So the first thing that I wish I knew before homeschooling was you don't have to do all the things. You know, in public school, they have all the subjects. You have social studies, you have math, language arts, writing, all the things. You don't have to do all the things. For our homeschool now, we try to hit math and we try to hit language arts just because I don't want them to fall behind when I put them back in public school. That was what I wanted to do this semester, but COVID, nobody really knows what public school looks like, so I was like, we already have a good thing going, let's stay home. And so we still hit the math and language arts every day, but otherwise everything else, history, science, whatever, we kind of let life take care of, because there are so many clues for those subjects, so many learning experiences for those subjects just in everyday life and through conversations. We will sometimes do an experiment if we see something cool on Facebook. Join the group that I've created, Real Homeschooling Moms 2020. Yes, Real Homeschool Moms 2020. I'll put it in the link. But there I want to share all these different science experiments as that may seem cool. A lot of resources are going to go there for you throughout this semester. So if something catches your eye, you're like, that'd be really fun, go ahead and give it a try. That's what we've been doing. And then for our history, we hit that mostly with read-alouds. I love read-alouds. Read-alouds, I swear, are the holy grail of homeschooling. You just spend time reading good books to your kids. That's how we hit a lot of our history subjects. We've hit the Vietnam War, which is a super confusing event, but we've hit it from the perspective of an immigrant coming from Vietnam, fleeing the war to America. And so we've gotten a lot of different perspectives just through these read aloud books, these historical fiction books. I love historical fiction books because it gives you a sense of you were there, you got to see the events from one side. We'll read the same kind of book but from a different point of view for the same event. So like World War II, I think we've read a couple books about now, and that's just my favorite way. And you know, science has always been like, you gotta read to your kids, read to your kids. It's true, read to your kids. Now that you're homeschooling and you have this undertaking of educating your kids, books are the way to do it. And it's not textbooks where it's really dry and like, nobody likes reading a textbook, but like historical fiction or a really good engaging book, a living book as Charlotte Mason would call it, is just the way to go, I promise you. So you don't have to do all the things, just do everything that you feel is necessary, but don't try to do it all at once. Don't burn yourself out in the beginning. Kids will pick up stuff naturally in their life. If they go through life never really understanding the Vietnam War, guess what? That's the majority of people. So don't worry about gaps in their learning. It'll fill in as it happens. What's up? All right, my second thing I wish I knew before I started homeschooling was you don't have to stand as a teacher. You don't have to get up and lecture all the subjects. You don't have to do that. Your kids are natural learners. And I think the public school setting, when they're trying to help all these kids meet these academic objectives at the same time, kind of can take away from their natural learning ability. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying that that is the way the public school has to be ran. Okay, sorry about that. I had to come inside because someone was like, had a vehicle sitting idly that was really noisy. We were talking about homeschooling versus public schooling, how at the public school, to get everybody learning at the same pace, to get everybody meeting objectives at the same pace, they have a teacher at the front giving instructions and helping them meet these goals. And a lot of the excitement of learning may get lost in translation with that. Kids are naturally curious. Kids naturally have interests. Kids naturally ask questions. And those are the things that you want to guide their learning, not the school standards or anything like that. Now, I wouldn't say go ahead and 100% unschool if you're not 100% sure that homeschooling isn't for you or is for you. You want homeschooling to be for you before you do that. Because if you want to throw them back in public school, they might be behind. What's up?
I love you.
I love you too. You want to be on the video? Potato! And so you want to have those natural questions. Like if you see that they're interested in them, in something like they're really focused in on a bug, ask like, what do you notice about that bug? What do you think it eats? Like just ask these probing questions that gets their thinking to the next level. And so that is the kind of learning that you want to facilitate in your homeschool, not the I am teacher, do as I say, blah, blah, blah. The third thing that I wish I had known before I started homeschooling was you don't have to complete every assignment. I know that I would print out a worksheet and we would be struggling through it, or the concept would be a little bit more difficult than I expected for my son, and that it would take a lot longer and it would end up with frustration and tears on both of our parts. And we don't have to finish it. We do not have to finish it. We do not have to finish everything in the curriculum. You are not a slave to the worksheet or the curriculum. If that resource or tool is not being helpful to you, ditch it. Ditch it. It is okay to ditch it. That isn't a philosophy I would love to my sons to have, like if this isn't working, I'm just gonna give up on it, because that you do want to build resilience and all that fun stuff, but you also don't want miserable days, each and every one, because you are acting as a slave to the curriculum or the worksheet or whatever it is. You can walk away or hold it off for another day. There are many expectations we put on our kids, and I would argue that we don't want to put expectations on our kids. We want to set goals for them instead. That way, if you meet the goal at whatever date it happens, that is a much better outcome than having an expectation they don't meet it and they're facing your disappointment, your frustration, and all that stuff. That is so much to put on a kid. We don't want that. The fourth thing I wish I knew before I started homeschooling is you don't have to be perfect. 100%. You don't have to be perfect. I know that we say that all the time in every field of life, but this has to be revisited here too, that you do not have to be a perfect homeschool mom to be a successful homeschool mom. You do not have to have the perfect attitude at all times. You do not have to have the perfect homeschool setting. You don't have to have the perfect anything at all times. And that is important because that will keep you free to keep going with a positive attitude. Yeah, I messed up. I made a mistake. I apologize for it. And we keep going on. I learned from that experience. We realized that didn't work. We learned from it. We keep going on. Homeschooling for the parent is such a growing experience, just as it is for the children. So do not think that when you homeschool, you're homeschooling your kids. You're also educating yourself on patience, on so many things that we want for ourselves that homeschooling gives us. So take advantage of all those character building experiences for both you and your child. And remember always, you do not have to be perfect to be doing a good job. My fifth and final thing I wish I knew before homeschooling is you don't have to know what you're doing to do it well. In every homeschool group, you're going to see someone make the comment of, I don't really know what we're doing. And even veterans, I homeschooled 20 kids. I don't really know what I'm doing. And that's just it. You don't have to know what you're doing to do it well. So if you are starting homeschooling, this is your first semester, and you're like, well, I got to have everything right. I have to have everything perfect. No, just get started. Just get started. Just know that you are giving you and your child the best education you can at the moment. And it's all gray area for us right now. Even in public school, it's all gray area for everyone. We don't know what we're doing, and that's okay. Life is weird right now. Give us some grace. Even if you were homeschooling, we're homeschooling in a pandemic, give yourself grace. This is something new for everybody, and it's okay to not know what to do, but still do it well. So fist bump, we got this. I'll see y'all again tomorrow with new material about helping you guys homeschool, to help you guys homeschool through this crazy season. I'm so excited for you guys, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.